To innovate is to simply make changes in something established by introducing new ideas or methods, like building a website to connect farmers with their global peers, or organising overseas farm visits, or sharing your on-farm innovation story with the agricultural community. For the owners and managers of Jigsaw farms in southern Australia, it's about putting together all the pieces of the puzzle, from research, trial and error, to education and sharing knowledge.
We're keen on innovation here at Jigsaw Farms, although innovation has to relate to productivity increase. Our target at the moment is we work on what we call the 2 or 3%ers each year, and if we keep focusing on that, we find within 10 years we're about 30% ahead of where we were in terms of productivity than the 10 years before. Some of the innovative things we've done on the farm is we've got a 5,000 or nearly 6,000 lamb feedlot, which is seasonally based for finishing lambs from Christmas running through till the May period. Depends a little bit when Ramadan's on, but the other side of it is we're keen on our genetics. So our genetics we're focusing on dual purpose sheep operation, what we loosely call a super ewe, in the merino one, where we're selecting heavily for both fat and muscle in our ewes, but at the same time not forgetting our wool characteristics. This is still very good wool growing country, but it's also quite critical that we look at meat as being a significant income source for us. In terms of innovation, we're also known for our trees. We've got 20% of our country down to permanent revegetation or agroforestry, sawlog timbers, and we're therefore, since 2010, we've been carbon positive for our whole farm operation. We're keen on the trees for a whole bunch of co-benefit reasons, not least shelter for our lambing and calving, but also in terms of biodiversity gains.
Well, here we are at Wairiri today with our Australian farm tour. We have a group of innovative farmers from Western Victoria who are mostly sheep and cattle producers, with a few cropping guys as well. And we've brought them here to see a top running crossbreed sheep enterprise here in New Zealand. And throughout the tour we'll be focusing on new and innovative farming practices so that these guys can take home some new ideas and hopefully apply that to their own enterprises.
My name is Matthew Rook. I manage a farm, Hensley Park, in Victoria, Australia. We run about 25,000 sheep across 2 farms, and we run at the moment 800 weaner calves so far on the tour of New Zealand. Besides being a very high rainfall area compared to what we're used to, the whole landscape's different. Their ideas on running stock's different, so that's been very helpful on a number of ways of how they manage their stock per hectare. So we're just trying to see what we can place in our own farm from their practices. Just come back from the Rabobank New Zealand tour, and it was a really good trip, but we learned a lot of things over there. They do things really different to what we do over here. The most I took out of the trip was their past utilisation and their research into endophytes in ryegrass. We mainly use Phalaris over here, and the biggest thing is they do a lot of sort of cell grazing with their cattle and their sheep, and use a lot smaller pace what we do, and they produce as much if not more than what we do. And I suppose a lot of that is also to do with their weather and how much rainfall they have, as well as irrigation. but I think we could improve a lot on our past utilisation on this farm. The way we intend to introduce the innovation to our farm, we're starting with a summer crop, which is a blend of stuff that we've got from New Zealand with some of their ideas. A more leafy turnip rather than a bulb turnip. We've got a 30 hectare paddock. I'm going to try and split in half and then split those halves in thirds just to try and utilise the feed and do a rotation just on that one paddock. And if that turns out alright, we're going to try and do the same thing on some of our bigger paddocks, just to semi-permanently sort of split them up, just to see how it goes. And we could also use the same principle for our big paddocks to get the right paddock size before we put a permanent fence in.
So it's all about the jigsaws, trying to put the puzzle together and trying to get as much innovation going on as we can, but using evidence to support what we do.